I don't know how any of that stuff works. Oh. Thank you for that. I had my window minimized. I didn't realize it was in the thing. Okay. Oh, people got a little preview. Yeah. Sweet. I should go back and watch it, just sitting there. All right. All right, good deal. Appreciate it. Thanks. Hey there, everybody. First alert meteorologist Keith Gibson here in the Weather Center. I hope you're doing well on this Sunday evening. Great to have you with us here on the stream. And let's go ahead and get into our discussion real quick. First, I want to talk about the Northern Lights. We've been talking this up for the last couple of days, but they are out tonight. We've had some local reports here, and a lot of reports from the Northeast and as far south as Virginia, as I've seen, and the Western Carolinas on some social media sites. So if you are out and about this evening, check it out. Skies are clearing, and if you still have some clouds, you will go clear at some point. So check it out. The Northern Lights finally are back in the fold here. This seems like it's been a mysterious event we've been talking about the last couple of days. We just really haven't had them. But tonight, we've got proof. I've seen some good pics here so far, and see what you can see. And if you do see anything really substantial or really cool, snap a picture or video, and you can upload it to our website, WBAY.com, or also via the WBAY News app, and we'll get those into our online gallery, and then we can use them on the TV side. And we just have to get them into our gallery there through those methods to get them on the TV side. So check it out and see what's happening here tonight. And let's see, Kevin reporting some purple visible on cam north of Lena. So yeah, check it out here. It could be really cool this evening. You never know what you're going to get as far as the visuals as these things will develop, and they'll fade away and come back. And it could be really good tonight. We'll see, but definitely something to check out with the clearing skies. So Northern Lights finally back in the fold. And speaking of the clearing trend, we have some clouds still lingering across the far north and Door County. All of these clouds will be going away as we go throughout the next couple of hours. So if you're still overcast, things will be improving as the night goes on. Many of us already have clearing skies, and there's a little crescent moon out there on the southwestern horizon. Really cool to see tonight as well. All right, so that's what's happening locally. First, I wanted to talk about the Northern Lights. I wanted to talk about a couple of other things here real quick. Hurricane Milton. This is a blossoming storm. This is going to be a monster storm again. The second major storm to hit the United States in about 2 weeks. And right now, this storm has sustained wind at 85. It is rapidly intensifying in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. And it is going to hit Florida. We know that. It looks like it's going to hit Florida by Wednesday as a major Category 3 or 4 storm. It's going to intensify most likely into a 4 prior to landfall. There could be a little bit of weakening as it approaches Florida, but there's going to be surge problems. Right now it looks like that could be really maximized south of Tampa, but it's all based on where the center line of the track ends up. South of that line, that's where the strongest storm surge is going to be. Of course, that's some devastating flooding that will affect the coastal areas, and also a lot of wind damage and power outages. It's just going to, and flooding too. So this is going to be a major ordeal again down across Florida. If you have a vacation home, if you know people down in Florida, along the I-4 corridor and south, there's going to be some big problems down there. And a lot of flooding and a significant flooding too, in addition to what they've already had over the last week or two down there. And there's actually rain going on in Florida now preceding the hurricane. So over the next 5 days, a lot of stuff down there. Let's bring it closer to home here. The opposite is true here. So we continue with our rainfall. I don't even know what to say anymore. The lack of rain, the desert. We're turning into a desert. That's what I'm trying to think here. We have not had a lot of significant rainfall. We really missed any significant rainfall with the little thunderstorms in the region last night and some rain, especially across the north, but most spots didn't see anything. We may see a few showers by next weekend. Okay, so it's dry. It's going to be pretty sunny this week. Don't forget your sunglasses each and every day. We're going to have comfortable days, cool nights. And speaking of cool nights, we have a frost advisory for a good chunk of our area tonight. And this is really going to be focused across a good chunk of the region, north and west of the Fox Valley. That's where we have the official frost advisories posted for those areas shaded in the blue until 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Protect the plants, bring them in, cover them up. You know the drill this time of year. We should not be surprised that we're talking about cool air in early October. It's been a while, but I should say we've already had some chilly temperatures across the North Woods with 30s and 20s. We've had several bouts of that. We just haven't had a lot of widespread, really cold temperatures that could support frost farther south. But we are thinking there could be some frost in central Wisconsin. The outliers here, the Fox Valley and the Lakeshore, where it may not get cold enough for frost formation on a widespread basis. But if you live in a low-lying sheltered spot that's usually a little bit colder, maybe like a little dip, in the landscape, you may have a little bit of frost potential in your homestead too, even in the Fox Valley and closer to Lake Michigan. So that's what we're looking at for tonight. But we have to have the wind die down for that frost to really get going here. Good evening, John. Great to see you on the chat here, and nice to see you here on the chat as well, Nancy from Shawano here on our Sunday. Great to have you with us tonight. Winds. Gusty all weekend long. We've had those 30 and 40 mile per hour wind gusts, and it's still a little bit gusty now. This is the current wind speed and direction, but the winds have been easing, and they will gradually be winding down. Well, not going completely away, but easing during the rest of the night. So skies are clearing, the wind will be dying down, and the air is very, very dry. All those things come together for chilly nights, and we are expecting by late tonight to have that frost begin to develop once those winds start to ease going into the overnight hours. But right now, it's still relatively mild, too warm for any frost or anything like that, obviously. We're in the low 50s, the mid 50s across the area. So not too bad of a night, just a little bit of a cool fall night for us here. Already into the 40s in the North Woods, Rhinelander, Anago, and we will start to see some of these cooler spots get cooler and cooler as the night goes on. Our forecast lows for tonight, low 30s, North Woods, perhaps some upper 20s, maybe some mid-20s in those really cold spots. And even in the central Wisconsin, too, some lower 30s here. So north and west of the Fox Valley, where the frost advisory has been posted, that's where we think the coldest air is going to be during the latter part of the night and the first part of tomorrow morning. So plan accordingly with those plans. Now, through the Fox Valley and the Lakeshore, if you're right on Lake Michigan, probably 40s. But from the valley to parts of the Lakeshore, mid to upper 30s. But there could be some colder pockets in there, too, that could support a bit of a frost. I don't think we'll have that concern in the city limits of, say, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, Fond du Lac. I think probably just too warm for that in the city limits proper. But outside of those areas, anything can happen in those colder spots. But overall, much, much colder back to the northwest. So that's where we're going to be tonight. But we actually have this air mass that's not really going to be changing for the next couple of days. So we have frosty night potential through the middle of the week here across northeastern Wisconsin and the UP. And again, damage to plants would be a primary concern. So just make sure they are protected and covered on up. Now, we have great weather that's in store for us. Take away the frost factor. During the day, it's really going to be great really every day this week. Now, we're mostly sunny on Monday. It's going to be very chilly to start, a light wind, and we'll start to see a little bit more of a westerly breeze tomorrow at about 10 to 20. So it's not going to be as gusty, but it's still going to be a little bit breezy tomorrow. And we'll have some low humidity and some dry air. So fire weather will be a concern once again. But it's going to be a pretty pleasant day. The average temperature right now is 62, and we should be slightly above that in the mid-60s tomorrow. Very nice, a lot of sunshine, hoodie type weather during the day, and then even cooler in the morning and at night. So this is going to be some pretty good stuff this week. Now, fire danger. As of right now, high to very high across our part of Wisconsin. Other spots of the state in that moderate category, but we'll just broad brush the discussion here and say fire risk in general is going to be elevated for the near term, really all of this week. And I don't think we're going to really see significant improvement unless we have a lot of humidity and moisture, maybe snowpack at some point. We've got this ongoing drought that is getting worse and worse by the day, and there's really no sign that that drought's going to be eased anytime soon. So as long as we have low humidity and the drier and drier vegetation, we will have these elevated fire concerns going deeper and deeper into October. And speaking of the individual ingredients here, we look for a couple of things: gusty wind, low humidity, and of course the dry fuels. It's not going to be extremely hot tomorrow, but the air's going to be pretty dry. So the humidity by late morning into the early to mid-afternoon will be down into the 30s as far as the percentage. And, you know, that's when we start to see concerns for some fires. If they were to develop, they could, you know, grow a little bit here, especially with westerly breezes. That will be gusting maybe up to around 20 miles per hour, but definitely not as high as what we've had over the last couple of days. So, again, just be extra careful. We don't really encourage burning at this point, but you know, just adhere to the ingredients here, because we are just basically sitting on a powder keg. And there's a lot of fires that exploded in the Dakotas yesterday and Saturday with the wind moving through and way out there. And you could have smelled some smoke in the air this morning. I did when I went out for my morning walk. You know, I used to live out west, and I had a keen sense of wildfire smoke. Anytime you lived out west in the summertime, you would always, you know, be concerned: is that a local fire? Or is that a fire in the distance? Well, there's some smoke in the air this morning that blew in from the Dakotas, the way the winds were moving through our area this morning. But anyway, fire risk will remain high here. So let's talk temperatures here real quick. We will have comfortable 60s here for Monday and Tuesday. This is just one run of our temperature trend here. This is not gospel, but it's showing you the trend. So we're in the 60s the next couple of days, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Really some good stuff. But notice how it is a little bit warmer back to the west by later this week. And we will get a taste. We're going to have a one-day micro warm-up, it would appear, going into our Friday. Confidence is pretty good through Friday as far as the weather pattern here. So I think on Friday, temperatures are going to spike into the mid to upper 70s. Some of us could get back to 80 or into the low 80s for a few hours here. And never say never, but we're getting to the point where any temperatures that warm will not be seen again until sometime in the spring. But this has been a wacky type fall so far. So again, never say never. But it does appear that we will have a little bit of a micro warm-up on Friday, a one-day type event, and then we'll start to cool things down a little bit going into Saturday and Sunday, where there could be more in the way of 60s and 50s. And then if things go according to plan, it could be even cooler going into early next week. But that is not guaranteed. There's not model consensus yet on anything really past Friday, so that's still a little bit of a gray zone. So that's what we're looking at as far as active weather in the distance. Right now in the near term, we really don't have a lot of stuff going on as far as really sizable type weather. It's just basically a glorified temperature forecast and wind forecast for the next couple of days that will support frost potential at night in some spots, and then we'll warm up and enjoy some of these very nice and pleasant days. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies across our area. There could be a few more clouds to our south and to our northeast, but we may be sandwiched in between and get a lot of sunshine. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy again on Tuesday. There's going to be a big area of low pressure swirling up there in Canada, but we'll be on the southwestern side of it, so we don't really expect any major problems here. And going into Wednesday, too, mostly sunny skies, and that will carry over into Thursday, too. So really, for the next 4 days, Monday through Thursday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Comfortable days, 60s, lows in the 40s and 30s, and some of us will have a little bit of frost. Now, Friday, that micro warm-up out ahead of this cold front, and this front could spark a shower or two. I've got like a 10% in the forecast for Friday. I'm not really too concerned, but, you know, there's high school football, and there's other events that could be going on, and we'll watch the shower potential with that as it comes on through. We will be warm, and as long as we're on the warmer side, we could have a little uptick in humidity too. So we'll see how this all plays out. But typically, well, of late, these systems have been pretty moisture starved. So not overly concerned with that. Now, anything after Friday I'm going to show here is still a little bit in that gray zone. And, you know, this is just one take on things, showing a disturbance coming down for Sunday that could stir up the wind and bring in another cold front, and this would bring in some colder air going into early next week as a big area of Canadian high pressure moves on into the region. We could have some gusty wind and some really chilly temperatures during the day and even more so at night too. So that's about a week away, subject to change, and right now there's not consensus on this, but it is a possibility, and we'll just see how things shake out there. So let's go and check things out with the 7-day. As I mentioned, basically ho-hum here through Thursday, mid-60s in general, overnight lows in the 30s to low 40s. Some of you will be colder than that 37 at night, and some of us could be a little bit warmer. Same story during the day. Some of us could be a little bit warmer than 65. Some of you could be a little bit cooler, but no big changes here for the next 4 days or so. That micro warm-up on Friday with that slight rain chance, 78 degrees, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. One last real warm day. Then I've got some 60s for Saturday, variably cloudy skies. We may start to turn a little bit breezy. And then we'll watch Sunday because the Packers are hosting, I think it's the Cardinals, right? Yeah, the Cardinals. The Cardinals won today. The Packers won today too. And so we'll see. You know, the Cardinals upset the 49ers in San Francisco, and of course, Packers are at home hosting the Cardinals, so we'll see. But there could be a few showers around if that second system comes on in next Sunday, and it could be a fall-like Sunday of football here in northeastern Wisconsin with some breezes, some cool temperatures, and maybe a little bit of light rain, but time will tell on that. But as far as the overnight lows, tonight we're forecasting temperatures that are cold enough to support frost, and we'll show you Tuesday morning too, with temperatures, especially west and northwest of the Fox Valley, in the 30s. This would be Tuesday morning. Not quite as cold from the valley to the lakeshore. And let me show you Wednesday morning, too. More in the way of 30s and 40s still in the region here. So we've got tonight, tomorrow night, and then Tuesday night. And some of us could even have a little frost potential going into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, too. But by the end of the week, we may lose some of that frost potential as we get a little bit more active and a little bit more wind and some warmth around here in northeastern Wisconsin. So that is where we are headed here for the next 7 days. And if you're just tuning into the stream real quick, I do want to just briefly mention again that the northern lights are out, and you have a chance to see them tonight across northeastern Wisconsin. Because we've had some visuals already in the region and across the northeast, and pretty low latitudes here, relatively speaking, down towards Virginia. So I think if you can get away into a dark spot this evening, look north, and you know, you may not be able to see them as well with your naked eye until your eyes maybe adjust, but definitely if you want to shoot it with a camera or something, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see some color out there on the northern horizon tonight with the northern lights. So really cool to see tonight. And real quick, it is Sunday evening, and I do want to, if you are a football fan and awaiting a certain football game on a certain network, the storms in question over in Pittsburgh are actually on the way out, and it looks like that game's going to be starting very, very soon. So there has been a rash of storms with lightning and downpours moving to the Pittsburgh area, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, and something you don't want to have for a football game. But that action is on the way out. It's moving away from Pittsburgh, and it looks like that game's going to be starting here in like 20 minutes or so. So there you go. There's a quick little football forecast update for you here on this Sunday night. And again, check out the Northern Lights if you can tonight, and just be prepared. There's going to be some frost around the region. Be extra careful with your tender plants, and bring them indoors or cover them up tonight and the next couple of nights, especially northwest of the Fox Valley. But other areas may still be susceptible to a little bit of frost, and there's that frost advisory in effect until 9 a.m. in the morning. So that's the very latest and greatest here from the Weather Center on the Sunday night. I hope you've had a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Have a good night.